out and the sun is out. So my plan for today is to stay inside as much as possible, where I can just enjoy the sun and not deal with the below freezing temperatures that it currently is right now. Today we are going to try a sourdough loaf that I've been wanting to try forever. It is sandwich bread sourdough. So like white bread that you buy at the store, but sourdough. Because quick sandwich season is upon us soon, hopefully. And I want to see how soft bread is actually going to be. So we're going to do that today. And we have almost finished the maple syrup. So we're going to finish off, hopefully, the maple syrup pretty well today. My fiance was up until 3:30 in the morning boiling sap and starting to filter it. So he's still sleeping, which is why I'm kind of quiet right now. My seedlings are loving the sun right now. And we also might start tackling a new project. At our local dump, there's like a share shed. So it's stuff that you don't want anymore, but it would be a shame to see go into the dump. It gets put in there and you can take it for free. And we found this, which is beautiful. We have a spare bedroom we have nothing for, so I kind of want it for that. It is missing a wheel, but they have it in the drawer here. And this top, I need to figure out what to do with it because there's chip there. We're just gonna have to sand it all down, restain it, but it's so beautiful. It has these old key locks that were actual locks. There's actual locking mechanism in there on all of the drawers. So if the snow on the deck melts, I might start that today too. We can go outside and start sanding it down. But first, like all videos, bread. So the first thing I'm gonna do is measure out 100 grams of milk, and then I'm gonna put 160 grams of a warm water in the milk and see what temperature I can get it to, because this is a same day recipe. So you want to use, if you're gonna do it same day, you want to use warmer liquids because that will speed up the fermentation process and the rising process of the dough. And 150 grams of sourdough starter that is active. So I fed this starter last night and she is perfectly peaked. Then we're gonna do 50 grams of sugar or honey. I have this honey that we got at the farmer's market, so I'm going to use this as our sweetener. I'm gonna be here a while. So I'm gonna set this to the side and I'm gonna measure out 57 grams of butter and then I'm gonna melt it. So I'm gonna do 100 grams of whole wheat flour and then 400 grams of bread flour. If you don't have whole wheat flour, you can just do all bread flour. I'm gonna transfer this into my stand mixer's mixing bowl, put a dough hook on my stand mixer, and we're going to knead it for 10 to 15 minutes on low. You can do it by hand. I just don't feel like doing it by hand. We're getting there. We're so close. Couple more minutes. So I'm just gonna shape this into a ball, and then I'm actually just gonna put it right back in this bowl, cover it, and I'm gonna put it in the oven, not turned on, just with the light on. The oven light produces some heat, and it'll just help it rise quicker. So while we're waiting for the bread to rise in the oven, I have my nice warm cozy coat on, and we're gonna go see how the maple syrup is going. I see some smoke coming out of the chimney, so last night, like I said, my fiance stayed up till like 3:30 in the morning trying to get the sap boiled down to where we could like finish it, which I'll talk about. So this far reservoir and this reservoir just have water in them to help clean them. This one still has a bit of sap boiling down that is almost ready to come out of the spout and filter. He filters using like coffee filters, and then it goes in this lovely stock pot on we call it our turkey burner because we do deep fry turkeys, and it's an old turkey burner with propane. And in that burner, it will boil until it gets to the finished point. It's just a bit more of a controlled boil. So my fiance has a very fancy tool called a refractometer that he uses to tell when the syrup is ready, where you drop 3 drops on the refractometer, you close the lid, put it to light, and it tells. He explained this to me last night, so bear with me. You put it up to the light, and then you look through it, and it tells you the number based off of the light refracting off of the sugar content in those drops you put on the refractometer. If you don't have a fancy tool, you can just tell by the boiling temperature. Once the syrup reaches 7 degrees Fahrenheit above the boiling point of water wherever you live is the general, you have sap, or you have syrup at that point. So for most people, that'll be about 219 degrees Fahrenheit. We almost have maple syrup. Yay! So the dough is roughly doubled in size. So what we're gonna do now is we are going to punch the dough down, put it into a rectangle, and roll it to shape it into our loaf. And then I have a greased loaf pan. We're gonna plop it in there and let it rise again. Literally, basically just gonna roll it. Because so we're gonna pick it up and plop it in the center of the loaf pan. We're gonna cover it, and then we're gonna let it do a second rise until it hopefully gets about an inch above the top of the pan. Ta-da! I'm gonna put it back in the oven to do that because it's kind of cold here. It's getting late, but the bread has finished proofing. It was done a while ago, actually. It looks so good. I just poked it with a fork to help get rid of any of the big air bubbles because it is still sourdough and we don't want them in this bread. So I'm gonna put it in the oven at 425 degrees for anywhere from 40 to 50 minutes. Then I'm gonna let it cool down overnight before I cut into it to give it the best chance possible. So I'll see you tomorrow where we taste test it. Okay guys, it is the next day. Please disregard. I just got home from work. But I think it turned out good. This is for sourdough sandwich bread. I think that looks really good. Two things though, and I think both of them are my fault. I don't think these are at the fault of the recipe. Okay, I think this is at the fault of Brittany. One, it is a little denser than I would have thought it would be, but I think that's just it being underproofed. I think I just wasn't patient enough. The second thing I think is also me not being patient enough and also oiling the pan wrong, because when it came out of the pan, it sort of, oh, did it mend itself together? Not really. It sort of, but I mean, it's cooked and it smells good and it tastes good. It's just a little dense and it broke in half. But again, I think that's all not any fault of the recipe. I think that is a fault of Brittany. So I'm gonna call it a win still, because it looks good to me. It's edible. And it was my fault. I was impatient. I didn't let it rise enough. So that is my fault. And we also, off camera, canned all of our maple syrup, and we ended up with so much more than we thought we were going to. So it's sitting on the counter, all tucked into towels, just waiting to be flipped over and put in the storage, and we're making stickers for them. So maybe next week I'll have the stickers on them. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. It's kind of a mishmash video, but I hope you enjoyed. And maybe next time we will flour the pan and not underproof the dough.